Hello, so today I'm going to let you know what I do for my business that I had told you about in a few videos ago. And what I do is I sell women's clothing on eBay. Now, it might not seem like you can actually make very much money doing that, but if you know where to get your items, if you find a place to source your items for a low cost and then you resell them at a higher value, it's actually very easy to make good money on eBay. So if you're interested in selling women's clothing like I do, what you need to do first is find a good source. You can check thrift stores, yard sales, anything like that. And if you buy your items at a low enough price, then you can resell them at a higher cost and make a decent profit. There are fees that are involved with selling on eBay, and you can search that out to determine exactly how much the fees are to see if it's something that you would want to get involved in. If you choose to get paid through PayPal, PayPal has fees as well. But overall, even after having to pay the fees, I still make a decent amount of money. Okay, so the first step to get started selling on eBay is you're going to need to go to eBay. So you go to that website first. And then if you do not have an account with eBay or with PayPal, you will need to sign up for an account. So once you can register right here if you would like to, and set up your own eBay account. If you already have an eBay account, then you can just sign in. So you'll have your email or your user ID and then your password. My user ID is Skirt Girl with an asterisk. So all you're going to do is just go right here to this button that says sell, and then that's how you get started. You can give whatever you're selling, you can kind of type in just an example. So if you say like a J. Crew shirt, then you would search and they would give you an example of the category in which you would list it. So would you choose men's clothing, women's clothing? Well, I sell women's clothing, so I would click that. Every listing has to have a category, so then you would press continue. And then I have an eBay store, so that's what this information right here is. If you do not have a store, you will not see that information there, so we're just going to discard that. So in this space right here where it says title, you're going to want to use as many words as you can to describe your item, because when people search, the more words that you have in that title is the more likely that you'll get hit with more search requests. So if I have a J. Crew orange shirt, I always start by capitalizing my, as you can see here, I start by capitalizing the name brand of the item. So J. Crew, and well, look, here's a dress. Right here, this is something that I have sold in the past. This is a dress and it did sell already, but just for an example, I'm going to show you how I list this, okay? So I've got the name brand, I've got the color in case someone is searching for a color. Spice kind of described the color of the orange. It was a stretch fabric. There was a ruffle detail around the neck. It was a dress. The size was a small. And I put a small, and I capitalized that because you wouldn't believe how many people buy something from you and then later they go, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't look at the size. I thought this was a medium. So I kind of just capitalized the size, and I typed small as well as an S. The S is also for a small. Another thing that I do with items like J. Crew is in the front of the title, I wrote J and then the period and then the crew right in as one word. But here I separated it. And I'm not really sure. In your search results, you might get both, but I'm not positive, so I just go ahead and include both. The fabric was a model fabric, which is a popular blend, and so I did write a model blend. So let's just pretend that I am listing this item. I'm going to choose the condition. Anything with a green asterisk beside it is required. You have to fill in that information. This was a pre-owned item, so you're going to choose whether it is new with tags, new without tags, new with defects, and that could be with or without the tags, but if it has a defect, you would choose that, and then pre-owned. Do not be false in this area. It not only is against eBay rules, when your buyer gets the item and sees that you misrepresented it, you're not going to have you're more than likely not going to have a positive experience. So that dress was pre-owned, so I'm choosing pre-owned. Now this area is optional, this field, but I do go ahead and fill it out. If there's a lengthy description about how there is a problem with the item, I generally just type, please see description. If it is in excellent condition, then I type excellent. If it is in, if it has some light wear, I will either categorize it to very light wear, or I will just write light wear from normal use. Okay, so this item was in excellent condition, so I'm going to type excellent. And then in this portion, you will have had to have already taken some photos. Now, you can list up to 12 photos. You see here where there's a green asterisk, so that means that it's required. At least one picture is required for this item. The more pictures, the better. For clothing, I generally take a front picture and a picture of the back, and then any details. And if there are if there is any damage to the item, I also take close-up photos of that. A good camera is a must. And clear photos, please, because if you take a picture that has, and it's really blurry, you're just kind of wasting your time, because people can't see what they're buying, so more than likely it won't sell, or it will take a really long time to sell. Okay, so here are some optional items. A UPC. Of course, my dress isn't going to have a UPC. And I'm not going to upload any photos here because I don't have a photo of the dress. I can try. I can just upload any picture, I guess. Okay, so we're going to select photos, and then we're just going to pick pictures. And we'll put a picture of my niece on there. Okay, here the picture is uploaded. So you see the picture is uploaded. If you want to add another photo, you would just click here to add a photo, and then again, you would click here once that photo uploaded, and just down the line. You can have up to 12 pictures. So now that this picture is here, we're going to press upload. And so here it is. And if you had more than one photo, they would just display across this area right here. Okay, so let's move on. This is an optional item. Of course, you see, since there's no green asterisk there. And of course, my clothing item more than likely won't have a UPC, so we're going to just skip that. Your brand is required, so you would choose your brand. You can look down like this, or you can just go ahead and type it in. And that's usually a lot faster. So you would choose what it is, what your brand name is. Choose whether it's just a regular piece of clothing, petite, plus, juniors. This dress was a regular piece, and then you're going to ask for the size. The size was a small, so here's the S for small, although you can also see where there are numbers involved, or you can even type it in if you want to. So the P stands for petite, in case you didn't know. So if you would have chosen petite here, then it would have been like 12 petite would have been your answer, or your selection for this. Okay, Okay, something that I just realized that I skipped was the category. And this is also a must pay attention to that. What you're going to do is change your category. Okay, here's clothing, shoes, and accessories. Whatever you're selling, the whole list of categories that you can choose from is here. I sell clothing, so that's what I choose. I sell women's clothing. Again, that's what I choose. There are several options: children's, men's, unisex, vintage, shoes. So women's clothing is what this is for me. And then here you will choose what type of women's clothing you're selling. Dresses, intimates, shorts, skirts, t-shirts, tops, blouses. Okay, I am selling a dress, so I'm going to click on dresses. And then you just continue. And then at that time is when you would go into your title. I apologize for forgetting that. Okay, so since I changed my category, I am going to have to type this stuff in again. So just really quickly, let me do that. And okay, so now we're back to style. And this is an optional item, as you see, but you can choose what type of style that it is. This just helps in the search options. When other people are looking, they might search for something like a shift dress. And so in the search options, they would type shift or click on the option to look for items that are shift dresses, or a shirt dress, or a bodycon, whatever it is. And so, like I said, that is optional. The occasion is optional. For this dress, I would have done wear to work. The length was knee length. How long is the sleeve? This was a 3/4 sleeve dress. What was the material? And here are your options for material. If the material of your item does not classify under one of these, you can type it in. So I would have typed like model blend, or actually what I use this area to do, so I don't have to type it in the description, is I would have written 60% model and 40% cotton. Now that's just an example. I don't remember what the fabric content on the dress was. But that tells the person what fabric content they can expect when they get the item. The color was orange, so you type that. You see here where you can do all these colors. And then the pattern, you can choose between these patterns. This was a solid dress, it was solid orange. And then I don't ever do the country of manufacturer, but you can if you want to. Okay, now the details, this is an area where you're going to want your page to look really neat and presentable. To me, when I try to buy something from eBay and the page looks really sloppy, that tells me that when I get my item in the mail, it probably will be sloppy as well. So I have my own little template that I have used in the past. Okay, so I'm just going to show you real quick one of my templates. And we'll do this because I'm selling a dress. So here's an Ann Taylor dress that I have for sale. And here's where all the specifics that you just typed in up here. This is what they look like on your page. Right here. See, the dress was Ann Taylor. It was a petite, so for petite, I chose that you'd wear it to work. That it's knee length, short sleeve, here's the fabric content, the color, and that the pattern is solid. And these are all items that will work in on your search engine. These are my categories in my store. That's all that is. And as for store subscriptions, really quickly, you do have to pay a monthly fee for that. It depends on how much you plan on selling, but I would suggest if you're new to eBay, don't worry about a store right off the top. Go ahead and get yourself familiar with the way eBay works, and then you can add the store on later if you would like to. So this is the template that I use, and of course I wrote this myself. These are things that I find work for me over the years. So here's where I write my item description, and I've let everyone know that this dress is a slip-on, that it's a faux wrap, the fabric is stretched, it's elasticized around the armholes, it's unlined, machine wash. I like to add the care of the item. People like to know if they're going to get stuck with something that's dry clean only. Sorry about that. I like to list the condition so people know what kind of condition the item is, and then measurements are very important. You don't have to type measurements, but sooner or later people are going to start asking for measurements, and I would just rather go ahead and have it on the page than to have to answer 2 or 3 questions every day with people asking for measurements, because it's just kind of time consuming and I don't care to deal with it. Here's a link that you can add for them to check out your other items. And then I put this kind of little disclaimer here. Colors may be different than pictured due to lighting because different computer screens are set to different resolutions, and something that looks pink on your screen could look orange on someone else's screen. So here is another thing that I over experience. I've been doing eBay for probably 5 years, so time and experience have just kind of taught me some things that I do and don't like to do for my personal preferences. You might not mind shipping to Canada or to APO or AE dresses. You might not mind shipping international, but these are things that I do not do. eBay does have a new global shipping program, and what that means is you take it to the post office. There's nothing special that you have to do, like forms to fill out, and the post office actually takes care of all of that paperwork for you. I did do it once. Someone bought from me internationally, and it was easy, and they did get the item, but still there's just too many lost packages and customs fees and everything. I just prefer not to do it. That's just me. I ship within the United States, Hawaii, Alaska, and Puerto Rico. So those are the only places that I ship to. Now this tells you what they can expect shipping wise. I tell them that I ship packages and answer questions Monday through Friday, 9 in the morning to 5 at night only, and that I do not ship on holidays. And then here's just a combined shipping discount. If they would like to buy more than one item for me, I charge the highest shipping item first, and then each additional item is offered at half price shipping. Finally, I did write here that payments are due within 7 days. However, really quickly, I'm just going to point out that when I list my items, I'm not going to fill in this information here because I just showed that to you. So that's what this area would look like. I'll just copy and paste this so you can see what I'm saying. Make the screen smaller real quick. So if you were to type this up, it would look like this here. So here's what your description would look like. Whoops, I went crazy on me. Okay, so that's just a lot of information. This is the information that buyers are looking for. Just a quick, detailed explanation of what the item is, what the care is. I've learned that people want to know if it's lined or unlined. They want to know the condition, measurements, and they just want to know some of your personal stuff, like when they can expect their item, when you ship, and when payments are due. So let me go back to that, when payments are due. All this stuff is kind of irrelevant. Any of this extra stuff, adding a theme for 30 cents, all it's going to do is add like a little frame around your listing, make it look cuter. You know, I don't know. I don't care about the page looking cute. I just want my item. I want it to be clean and like they described and at a reasonable price. So here's a counter. What that means is it will just show how many people have looked at your page, and you can choose whether or not to keep that hidden where you'll see it but no one else will, or you can choose different styles. And this is what they see. Thanks for looking. Or you can choose different styles. And this everyone sees, as well as the basic everyone sees. I just keep mine hidden. It just says thanks for looking. Okay, so here is where you're going to choose whether you want to do your list your item at an auction price or at a fixed price. Okay, buy it now. I'm going to, a lot of my stuff, I feel like if I look at it when I'm in a thrift store or at a yard sale, and I don't think that I can get around $10 to $20 for the item, I pretty much leave it there. So what I'm looking for is stuff that I buy anywhere from $3 and under. I don't like to pay any more than $3 for an item. Okay, I am very brand specific. I stick to Ann Taylor Loft. I do not necessarily do Ann Taylor. I don't see that it sells as well as the Loft. J. Crew sells really well. J. Jill. Those are just, I don't know, just really quickly, those are just things that sell really well for me. Oh, Coldwater Creek sells fairly well. So let's just say I started this at $20. As you can see where my pop-up came up there, I use $20 a lot. Now, here's something that you can choose. Best offer. Allow buyers to send you their best offers for your consideration. If you click that box, you have a couple of options. You can, what this does is it opens up a window for people to send you an offer on this item. But here's a couple of things that you can consider. Here, automatically accept offers of at least, and then you choose. So if you click that and you put here $15, if someone offers you $16 on this dress, then eBay is going to take the work out of it for you, and they're going to automatically accept the offer, and then you don't have to do anything except for ship the item after they've paid. Another thing you can do is automatically decline offers lower than. So like I said, I want $20 for this dress. So if I list it for $30 and I want $20, then I'm going to automatically at that point accept an offer for $20 because I want $20. But if I might be willing to go down just a little bit more, then I'm going to put this at $15. So if someone sends me an offer for $18, then I'm still going to be able to consider it. But if they send me an offer for $14, then again, eBay is going to step in and do the work for me, and they're just going to go ahead and decline that offer right away because it was less than the price that I set here. So anything less than $15 at that point, eBay would automatically decline for you. And anything at $20 or more would have automatically been accepted. Okay, so choose your quantity. If you've got a couple of these, you would choose that you have 2. If you have 10, then you would choose that you have 10. Just keep a watch on your inventory. Choose your duration. Whenever you are choosing fixed price, you get to choose how long you want the item to stay on eBay for. I choose good until canceled. What that means is if in 30 days your item does not sell, eBay automatically relists it for you. So you don't have to do anything. You list it once, and then from there out, you're done. Until it sells, you're finished. You can also choose shorter increments. 30 days, 10 days, 7 days, 5 days, 3 days. If you choose one of these, what's going to happen is if you choose 10 days here, then in 10 days, your item is going to end, and you will have to manually relist the item. If there are any fees involved for you, then you will be charged the fees for that item again. So eBay automatically gives you a few free listings every month. I don't know how many it is. I'm subscribed to a store, so I get more than if you were not subscribed with a store. But so that's how I do that. Okay, here you choose when you want it to start. Mine is always start immediately, and then or you can schedule a time to start. So if you want all of your listings to start on a Sunday, you would always just choose the date. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so moving on, you will select how you will be paid. Right here, I choose PayPal. You can choose credit or debit cards, bank payments. There's different ways that you can choose to receive payment. You can look into that. I do not suggest receiving money orders or checks in the mail. I believe eBay did away with that in their policy a few years ago anyway. I think it's against their policy to do that now. But the problem with that is you've always got people who say the check is in the mail and it never comes, and that's pretty frustrating. Besides, if you choose PayPal, you get paid immediately. Like I said, there are fees involved, but it's an immediate payment, and PayPal automatically takes the money out of the payment, so it's never a bill that you have to worry about paying. Paying your eBay fees is a bill that you will have to worry about paying. You can choose to have it automatically drafted from your PayPal or bank account, but I like to be in control of that, and so I just pay it myself. Okay, so here's a box that is ever so important that to me that I check because of experience, and that is require immediate payment when buyers use Buy It Now. So since all of my listings are listed at Buy It Now, I require them to pay immediately for the item in order for them to get it. So I go ahead and just require people to pay immediately. Again, this is something that I've learned through the years over experience. Okay, moving on to shipping. You can choose how you want people to, how you want to charge people for shipping. You can do a calculated cost, and the reason why that is because based on your location to someone else, the cost of shipping an item varies. So if you are shipping a heavier item, or if you want your shipping costs to be more exact, then you would choose this option. If you choose this option, you will need a scale handy. That way you can weigh your item in its package. That way you calculate the total weight of the item. You could weigh a shirt and it weighs 8 ounces, but you put it in a box and all of a sudden it weighs 12 ounces. So, you know, your shipping is going to go up. So you can choose this option. If you're shipping items that are over 150 pounds, you would choose freight. And then I don't recommend this option if you're just going to be selling women's clothes like me, but if you don't want to ship, then you would just choose local pickup. You can choose to charge for local pickup if you want to, and you would choose that. I'm not sure, but you can choose that as well. When I see that, I'll point it out to you. But what I do is just the same flat cost to all buyers. So what I do here is you would choose your shipping option. I do use the United States Postal Service. I do not use FedEx or UPS. Some people do, but I do not. And here are all of your options. There are several of them. Most of my items are shipped standard. First class mail. It takes 2 to 5 days to deliver, depending on your location, distance from where the person who bought the item is, and then how much your flat cost is. So a first class package has to weigh anywhere from 1 to 13 ounces. Anything heavier than that, you would have to ship either parcel post or priority, or another option that I like to choose, like if you're shipping a sweater, which is generally heavier than 13 ounces, is this right here. It's a flat rate envelope, and what that does is, their motto for this envelope is, if it fits, it ships. So, you know, I can get something in there that might weigh a pound, a sweater, a heavy sweater that might weigh a pound. Now, sometimes you might have to be a little creative and really stuff it in there, but if I have to stuff something into this envelope, then I go ahead and usually just detail it on the page, and I let them know that the item will be tightly packed into a flat rate envelope in order to keep shipping costs low, so that they know when they get their item that it's going to pretty much be shoved into that envelope. You can get these envelopes from the United States Postal Service. You can order them online for free. You also can probably pick them up at your local post office. So you can also choose that. It costs me $4.95 to ship this envelope, so I charge $6 to ship it. Now, I'm going to tell you really quickly the reason why I charge a little higher to ship an item than what it actually costs to ship it is because of the fees that are involved. eBay charges you fees even on your shipping. So if something costs you at cost $2.50 to ship it, and then you charge $2.50 shipping to your customer, when you do that, you're losing money because those fees were involved. So let's say that on that $2.50, 50 cents of it was fees. So you're paying eBay 50 cents of that money, and so you're losing that. So generally I make my customer pay for that. That way, you know, you're not losing any money yourself. So if anyone's buying from me after watching this tutorial, then I hope that you'll understand that. And if you do decide to sell on eBay yourself, you'll understand why that sellers do that really quickly. However, one thing that I strongly disagree with is when someone charges $6 or $7 for first class shipping on a t-shirt or something. I just think that's pretty ridiculous. So I mean, if I'm shipping a t-shirt, my price is going to be about $3.50 to ship that item to you. And so, anyway, I do like to still be fair. So that $3.50, a t-shirt might cost you a couple dollars to ship, but I'm charging $3.50. The extra $1.50 covers my eBay fees for selling the item, as well as the cost of the item and the shipping. So it covers the fees for that. And it also covers the cost of packaging supplies. I buy my envelopes that I ship in on eBay. So it covers the cost of those supplies: tape, ink, paper, gas for me to go to the post office. It's just a little bit extra, and it covers those fees for me. That way that stuff isn't coming out of your pocket. Oh, right here is where I was saying buyers can pick up the item from you. You can choose, you know, $1. It will cost you another $1 if you want to pick this item up from me locally. I never did charge anything for that. I used to let people do that. I do not let people pick up locally from anymore, just to keep things safe. So, next thing, this is really important, your handling time. People want to know how long it's going to take you to ship their item. So you can choose any of these times. I'm not sure what that means by exception handling times. So eBay's going to want you to stick within this target range right here. I choose 1 business day for a few reasons. One, when something sells, I just want to get it out of the house. I'm ready to just move it along. Another reason is your buyer wants to get that item quickly. They don't want to sit around and wait on you to feel like shipping the item, and then they get it, you know, a week or a week and a half later. Most of my items I ship right away unless they buy on a Friday after 5. Then I don't ship until Monday. And if Monday's a holiday, I don't ship until Tuesday. So, but at that rate, you know, of course it's going to take a little longer for someone to get something. It's also going to take people a little longer to get something whenever it is a holiday. So especially around Christmas, even around Valentine's Day, or times when people are shipping out a lot of packages to loved ones for the holidays, shipping will be a little slow at those times. But in my experience, the post office really moves packages along quickly. I have not had a big problem with them losing packages. I think I said 5 years earlier that I've been selling on eBay, but you know what? It's been closer to 8. I've just been doing it more seriously for about 5 years. So in my 8 years of buying and selling on eBay, I think I've had 2 packages that have gotten lost. And who knows where they are? They have never materialized. So anyway, so that's why I choose 1 business day. Another reason I choose 1 business day is because if you follow certain requirements per eBay rules, they give you discounts on your fees. And shipping within 1 business day is one of those requirements. Okay, moving along. This is what I was telling you about with the global shipping program. I do not choose to ship globally, so I just uncheck that box. And every time you list something new, that box will always be checked, so you'll need to remember to uncheck that box every time. Here you can choose excluded shipping locations. I don't have anything listed, but let me show you what that will look like. So here you would choose, for example, I don't ship to APO, FPO addresses. Some people don't ship to Alaska or Hawaii. I don't know why. I've never had bad experience with that. Shipping is almost just as quick as shipping within the contiguous United States. Package details, you can choose some extra information here if you want to. As you see, again, there's no green asterisk, so it's not required. But you would choose here your dimensions and such. And that was if you were shipping a larger box. Like one time I shipped a large Ralph Lauren comforter, and so I did put the dimensions in. If you are shipping a larger package, it does cost a little bit more than if you were shipping a smaller package. Not just because of the weight. Of course it's going to cost more because it's heavier, but because of the dimensions of the box, they charge you a little bit more, which might be like around a couple dollars more. So make sure if you're shipping something large that you keep that in mind. And here is where you would put the weight in of the package. Having a postage scale is not necessary, but it is definitely a convenience. Okay, here's a few more things. I apologize this video is taking so long. It's a lot of information, but hopefully you'll be well informed by the time that we get to the end of this tutorial. Here's a few more items of information. Buyer requirements. You can choose to have, you can choose who can buy from you, kind of. I mean, requirements aren't really that helpful in my opinion. For example, you can block people who have had 2 unpaid item strikes within the last month. So if you've got someone who's trying to buy something of yours and in the last 30 days they have bought, you know, 10 items from someone and they didn't pay for any of them, then that person would not be able to buy from you because it's obvious that they have a record of not paying for their items. Really quickly, if you choose sales tax, you can choose what state that you're in and how much the tax is. That applies if you're a business or if you're just going to be honest and file taxes at the end of the year for the money that you make. So in Kentucky, it is 6%. So I would have had that clicked. And what that does is it charges your buyer 6% tax on their transaction. And then, of course, it's up to you at that point to stash that money away until tax time. And then you can choose whether or not that tax also applies to shipping and handling costs. You will want to specify a return policy, whether or not you accept returns. I accept returns on items that cost $11 or more. I do not accept returns on items that cost $10 or less. I don't feel that it's worth the hassle, and I haven't had any issues with that, so it works for me. This is my return policy. The buyer has 14 days after they receive the item, and the U.S. Postal Service, if you ship your packages online, does show a tracking number, and it will show when it's delivered. So they have 14 days after they receive the item to return the item to me. I will give them their money back. But here you see where I let them know that no shipping costs are refunded because I didn't get that money and I'm not going to lose on it. So unless you have made like a serious mistake in the item, for example, one time the listing stated the item as a large and I wasn't paying attention, and the person contacted me when they got it. It was a small. I was like, oh no. So they shipped the item back to me, and I returned all of their money, including the shipping, because that was a mistake on my behalf. So you see here my fees so far are nothing because of my store. I get so many listings every month for free. So I would just choose continue at that point. Okay, so here's what the next page looks like. And if you look right here, it's going to let you know whatever fees are involved that they are going to charge you. Just to list your item. If you sell the item, other fees will apply that are called final value fees, or FVF for short. And you could do some research about like what kind of money is involved there. So if anything here is ever charging you, you need to go back into your listing and uncheck some boxes because they're charging you, like sometimes they'll try to slip a quarter or something in right here. And while that might not seem like much, it does add up whenever you list quite a few items. So my total is 0. And it says here that I saved 20 cents. So that tells me that it would cost me 20 cents to list this item without my store subscription. So see, that's pretty reasonable. All right, and then you just go up. And right here is where they will tell you that you can list your item. So if you want to check on your eBay page where your item is listed at, when you go to my eBay, let me make this a little bigger for you again. Okay, so you would go to my eBay, and on the left hand side here, you would go to active. Underneath the selling manager, you would click on active, and that lets you know, that shows you where your items are that you have for sale. But really quickly, I need to go back and go over the auction. That was with the fixed price. With the auction, if you are choosing to go auction style with your item, here you can see you can choose a starting price of say $1, or the person can buy it right now from you for $20. Fees will change if you do this. I am not sure how much right off the top, but fees will change. Now what this opens up is for, well, an actual auction. You don't have to have this. This opens up your item for an actual auction. So I would definitely not begin this price for any less than you paid for the item. If you paid $3 for the item, then you should at least start the listing at $3. Otherwise, of course, you know, if you want to take a little bit of risk and start it at $1 and hope, well, I hope I at least get $3 on this. Well, you might or you might not. So I just don't think it's a wise way to conduct business, but you might choose that it works for you. So if I paid $3 for the dress, then I might start it at $3. But even that might seem a little, I don't know, like a hamster on a treadmill. Because if you paid $3 for it and you just get your $3 back, and then those fees are going to come out of that, so you're still losing money. So when I used to do auction style, I listed the item for double what I paid for it. So I would start the item at least $6 and just see where it goes from there. Again, you can choose your duration, how long you want it to last, up to 10 days. I think there is a fee if you have it at 10 days. I think it might be an additional 10 cents. It used to be anyway. I am not positive. I'm not seeing here where they're saying that there's any additional fees. But they used to charge you an extra 10 cents to have it on 10 days instead of 7. I'm going to leave that at 10 days just so we can look for that. Other than that, all of this information is going to be the same. Except for this. If your item is on auction, you cannot choose to have immediate payment. You have to have something in the Buy It Now box in order to choose immediate payment. Again, all of this is the same. Right on down. Everything would be the same. Okay, you see here my fees are now 40 cents. So it went up considerably. It doubled. So that is still up to you whether or not you would want to go auction. So here they let you see that for 10 days it charged you 40 cents. Oh, here's what you're charged 40 cents for. Okay, so to insert it was free and nothing on the picture pack. Okay, so if you do 7 days or less, there's not going to be money involved here. But if you choose the 10-day duration, then there is a 40-cent charge. So if you didn't want to pay 40 cents for the extra 3 days, then you would just go back and change your time to 7 days. And again, at that point, you would just make sure everything is what you want it to be. If you'd like, you can preview your listing by clicking this box. And this is what your listing would look like to other people. So when you go on eBay and you shop and you're looking at other people's items, and this is like the page that you see. And this is everything that we just filled out. Here's your description. I can click on this tab to see about your shipping and payment details. Here's the return policy that we outlined. Everything's very neatly done. And here you can see where I only accept PayPal. So moving down, let's go back to the description. Okay, so moving down, it won't look like this. This is the way that I'm seeing it. This is my store. This is what they'll see, this information here. And right on down. So here's where they would have an option to place a bid. And at the end of 7 days, or 10 days, or 3, or whatever you choose, that is when you would want the buyer to pay you. And that is where your payment guidelines need to be outlined clearly. And that was right here. Payments made as quickly as possible within 7 days are always appreciated. Just like to be nice about it, you know. You definitely want to be friendly. Whenever you're selling, let me point this out very quickly. Let me go back. We're not actually doing this. Okay. So right here you're going to have, if you just let this drop bar descend here, you're going to see where this says messages. So you can click on My eBay, or you can just let this drop bar descend, and then you can see the messages button right here. But when you click on that, it will bring up the page that you're looking at now. And you will need to keep an eye on this. When you're on your activity page, you'll see how it's messages here. If there's a message, there will be a number there to let you know that there's a message. And you do want to keep an eye on that. If a buyer has a message, you definitely want to go ahead and get it answered in a timely manner, really as quickly as possible, especially for buy it now items. I mean, if somebody is interested in something and they have a question about one of your measurements, then you want to get back to them right away while they're still interested. If you wait even 2 days, the person could lose interest in that item. So when you see a message, just as quickly as you're able, go ahead and answer. Definitely answer any questions just as quick as you can about someone wondering about the status of their order. They can track it themselves, but people who are new to eBay don't always know that. So you might just need to help them with information like that. If you have any additional questions, you can go ahead and comment below. Again, I apologize for the length of this video, but it is a lot to go over, and I wanted to be detailed. That way you kind of knew what you were doing if you decided to go into it. So it's pretty easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's simple. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. eBay has made it easier and easier to sell over the years. I can see a lot of the changes that they've made. Hopefully, if you decide to sell on eBay, it will be a positive experience for you. To get started, instead of going out and investing a lot of money, I would just suggest maybe going through your own closet, pulling out some things you don't wear anymore that might be in great shape. Keep in mind your brand names. I just have the best luck selling brand name items, and that's what works for me. And you can make, like I said, definitely a significant amount of money, depending on how much time and energy you want to commit to it. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any additional questions, feel free to comment below, and if I am able, I will be glad to answer those questions for you.